We have other inline tags that we need to still talk about, but I think I'm going to create another paragraph line here. Paragraph tags. Let's do lorem 30. Okay. So the next inline tag we'll be looking at is the mark tag. So this gives some sort of highlight to whatever content you use it on. Okay, it gives highlights to whatever content you use it on. We also have delete. We can delete a particular line of code, but what it does is it sort of cancels it out. It sort of cancels it out. It's not as if it actually remove it from the code base. It cancels the particular content that you put into it out. That's what delete does. Like as you can see, this portion of the code is cancelled out. We also have insert. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's insert this. Yeah. So what delete does is that it cancels out that particular content you use it on, and insert underlines it. That's just the two difference. That's just the difference between the two rather. The next inline tag we'll be looking at is sub. Let's use it here. Sub, sort of making the content a subset of the others. Let's see how that works. Can we see? Okay, yes, this is it. It's a subset, like a subset of the other ones. Subscripts, I think it's subscript, yeah, of the other ones. While we have sub, now it's like a superscript. It kind of makes it bigger. Is it bigger, or puts it at the top rather? Not bigger. It makes it stay at the top. Let's check it out here. Let's use this one. Sub. Whatever we put inside here goes up. Right. This is it. So we still have other ones. Let's have another paragraph. Let's do a lorem 30 again. We have block quotes. Yeah. What block quote does is, let's use it on a larger area of code so you can really see how it works. Yes, so it makes that content, whatever content you use block quote on, look quoted as if it's quoted from another source. Okay, as if it's not a part of the code flow. That's what block quote does. We also have sites, like the word implies, as if it makes the content seem cited by a particular person or organization. That is what site does. Okay, so site gives you that effect of a cited line of text, a cited line of text. Then block quotes gives the effect of quotes in the code flow. So that is that about inline, the few inline elements that we're going to talk about. I'm sure there are others you can always read on. So we're moving on to lists. The list tag, the list elements. We have three different types of list elements, but two are more common than the other. The first one we'll be talking about is unordered list, and to write that, use this UL. And inside the UL, like I said, elements can be nested inside elements. Elements can be nested inside elements. Okay, so we're going to nest the list elements inside the unordered list elements. Okay, so This is how it works. It gives you the list effect. So let's say we want to list let me move this up a bit. Okay, let's say we want to list let's do this first. Let's do a p, let's do heading rather, h3 of list of foods, right? So for us to get that list effect, we have to use ul and li inside ul. The first food we want to check is rice. Then we have next thing beans. Okay, yes. Can you see? We have gari and we have yam. So this gives us list, but in an unordered form. Okay, like there's no there's no number or symbol that shows its order. Okay, it's just bulletins that another list use, and that takes us to ordered lists now. In the place of ordered lists, instead of bulletins, we have numbers. That is the difference between an unordered list and ordered list. Okay, so let's just copy and paste the same things that we have here and paste it here. Okay, so as you can see, this one comes in bulletin forms while this one comes in numbers, right? So that's that about this ordered list and unordered lists. Okay, the next element is the table element, and to write that we have to first write the table tag. Table. Okay, in the table tag, um you could have the table head, the table body, and the table footer. Okay, so let's do t head. Inside the table head you have your tr, that is in the table head row. That's what this means. Tr, table row. We have th. Okay, so let's say name. Okay, next one should be, okay, age, and let's call this gender. Okay, so this is supposedly the head that we've created for the table. Now let's have the t body. Inside the t body we have the first row, tr. Inside the first row we have the data. Okay, that's td. So let's say bolu. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste this a couple of times to no waste time. Bolu is 24 years old and Bolu is a male. The second row, I'm just going to copy and paste this all over again. I'm going to copy and paste a couple of times. Okay, now this is Tolu. Tolu, oh god, Tolu. Tolu is 21 and Tolu is female. Lastly, we're gonna have Uche. Uche is 34 and Uche is male. Oh, what is this? Okay, so we have some sort of table which we can use CSS to style, and make it look better. But right now we're still on the HTML, so this is how it looks. If you choose to have a T footer, so you can put a T foot the same way you have. Let's just copy this. Oh, okay. Let's just say nil. Nothing special. Nothing special. Nothing special. Just to show you that you can have a footer inside your table. So that's how tables are formed. Okay. Next element is the form element, and we do that by writing the form tag. Inside the form tag, usually if you're going to connect this to JavaScript and maybe backend, then you need the action. Okay, but since we're still working in HTML, we do not need this for now. Okay, so inside a form tag, for every input you need a label. The label describes what the input is for. Okay, so first we're going to have a label. Okay, we're going to have label. Now these four attributes allows you to customize what the label is for. So for this label, we're going to be calling it, let's say, first name. Let's say we are trying to get a data of somebody's name, email, and all of that. So this is how you go about it with the form. So let's say we are trying to get their first name. Let's call this, the label is for first name, and I'm just going to use F name. Or let me just write completely. Okay, let me just write completely. That's first name, and the content inside it comes out as first name. Oh, I'm sorry, let me give this a break so we don't have everything modded together. Another break and another break, and maybe HR to just divide the whole thing so you don't get it mixed up. Okay, cool. So for every label I said there's an input, right? This is input. What the type attribute asks you for is, what is your input demanding? Is it text? Is it number? Is it email? Do you understand? This gives the element is information. It acts on information you give the attribute. Okay, so now we're asking for name, so definitely we need text. That is why this is in text. Input is also one of the tags that don't need a closing tag. Okay, they are self-closing. So, and that's how that goes. You can always give this a name, just a name that fits in with the 4 in the label. Okay, let's call this first name. It's just an attribute that connects it with the label. Usually, let's copy this so we have more than one input. Yes, usually their label and input are inline. They're inline elements. They're inline tags. So in some cases you can have your forms looking like this, but in such cases that you want to make it a block element, you want it to be occupying the whole division, you can always use the div tag. So I'm going to wrap this label, each label and input, in a div tag, because is a block element, so it inherits that characteristics from this div. Can you see it has moved down? So let's give it a break so we don't have. Okay, so that looks cool. Let's change this to last name. For last name, let's do the same thing here. Okay, what other information do we need from them? Let's wrap this also in a div. so that it doesn't affect the next one. Okay. So we've wrapped this in a div. Let's have another line break, then a new div for the next input we're having. Okay, let's copy this out. No, let me just write it again. So let's have a new label. Let's say we want to get their email data. Okay, so this label is going to be for email. Then in the contents of the label, write email, right? Then you have an input. Um, we didn't use ID for the other one, so there's no need for that. For email, the type of input is not going to be text anymore. Definitely, sure, emails come in text, but note that you can have numbers in emails. So there's a custom built type, custom built email type for each input. So instead of text here, we put email. So it recognizes whatever you put inside the input field as an email. Okay, so this is supposed to match the 4 in your label. So that's that about that. Let's have another one for telephone number, right? For phone number. So let's have a break. Let's have another D. Let me just copy this because of time. And just oh god, it's literally the same thing I'm doing. I'm just you know. So now inside of email, we're having telephone number. So this is going to be tel, alright? Or phone. You can name this anything. It is under your control. You can always name it anything. Okay. This is phone. Right? But type for phone is usually tel, always telephone. Okay. So it recognizes that whatever goes into the input field for this particular div is a telephone number. Okay, so this should be phone. Okay, so that's how you can create forms in HTML.